My mother's parents are from Tully, so directly after Cyclone Larry in 2006 and Cyclone Marcia in 2011, the whole family went up there as soon as the roads were open and helped out a lot of family, friends and relatives from the area in their cleanup. So in that experience we learnt a lot of things about the immediate aftermath of cyclones. You're always looking at stuff, what sheds blew down, why, what trees do better than other trees, how some crops stood up compared to others, that sort of thing. So fruit trees don't all stand up. These are some mangoes, but the interesting thing about this is it's all the same soil, they're the same variety of mangoes, the only difference is the age. So we find that after about 7 to 8 years of age, most of our types of trees don't sustain much damage from the wind. In the foreground they're only 2.5 years old, no pruning history, aside from the day before we went out and gave them a prune but not hard enough. And in the background, that lovely straight row is the top row of some 14-year-old mango trees, and there was hardly a twisted branch in them. All they did was lose leaves. Permanent nets don't do great. Now, we actually took the opportunity to remove permanent nets from our farm system entirely. So we were already well on that road. We've got plenty of temporary netting, there's a number of other benefits, including that net doesn't last forever in the sun, so if it's only out there for 6 weeks instead of 12 months, it lasts a lot longer. But also that if there is a disaster coming, you can go and wind it in. So we've got around about 25 acres of temporary nets. We can roll in about half of that in 8 to 10 hours. If we don't have enough time to go out for 2 days, we could get a second crew of people just to pull them on the ground, and far less damage will happen to the nets that way. That's our temporary netting system. You can see on the left an erected row. We're putting it up there with the net winder, and then to the right, see how the arms are folded? That's how we get in with the mechanical pruner to prune the trees. Those lychee trees there are, at the time of that photo, about 14 years old. If we hadn't pruned them, they'd probably be 10 or 12 metres tall, but right there they're only 2.5. And that's one of the reasons that the trees after the age of 6 or 7 or 8 don't blow out for us, because the roots keep growing, the trunks keep growing, but the top of the tree doesn't get any larger. Now, down south in a town called Tatura, in Victoria, a long time ago they developed a trellising system for stone fruit, and it is credited as being one way of stormproofing trees that otherwise blow out. A couple of our varieties of lychees do blow out in storms, but we've chosen not to go down this route. That's called a closed Tatura trellis, and it works well with anything that bears on the trunks, on the branches, but it's not real good for anything that we grow, or most tropical crops which grow on the terminals, because you can't walk up the inside to pick the fruit or do the pruning. That's an open Tatura trellis, and the gentleman standing there is Peter Solaris. He's a family friend of ours from only a couple of minutes down the road from my grandparents. Now, he's pioneered growing all kinds of tropical fruits on his trellising system. He went through Cyclone Larry and lost most of his tropical fruit trees, while he and other farms in the area replanted. The difference was that he replanted entirely on this trellising system, and 5 years later, right in the butter zone of when trees are just as big as they're going to get before you really prune them hard, everybody else lost their trees in Cyclone Marcia, and he didn't lose any. So he has proven single-handedly that you can grow almost any tropical tree on Tatura trellising. And that, as you can see, is the open trellis system where you can walk up the inside so you can access both sides of each tree.